Be kind. You never know what someone is going through. These are the words that we hear very often, especially during times when somebody commits suicide, and then about a couple of weeks later, then those kindness bundles are depleted. It seems rather difficult to try to transform adult hearts, but I believe that we can instill kindness in our little ones. Welcome to Women Building Women. I am your host, Samantha Letshedi, and this episode is titled Tiny Hands, Big Responsibility. Oh, wow.
I love that.
My guests are nurturing, loving, patient, selfless, and strong moms who I am confident are doing an impeccable job at raising their little humans. Welcome, Stella and Kopano.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
So, actually, I am going to read different attachment styles, and then you guys are going to let me know which one resonates with you in the context of how you were raised, and which one resonates with you in the context of how you are raising your child.
Okay. That's a nice one.
So I went through these attachment styles in episode 2 when I was interviewing an occupational therapist, but it was more in the context of romantic relationships, which is how, in any case, like any child would show up in a relationship later on in life, whether it be romantic or otherwise. So this might be a bit repetitive, but some of you might have not watched episode 2. Well, I'm only dropping episode 2 tomorrow, but by the time this is released, you probably will have. But I'm going to get into it anyway. So the first one is anxious attachment, which is one that really resonates with me. An anxious attachment style may present itself as the need for frequent reassurance that you are loved and that the other person is not about to abandon you. Those with an anxious attachment style may have grown up in an environment in which they did not feel safe that their caregivers would return. I mean, I knew mine wouldn't return. They were already in heaven. Or one where they did not have access to consistent affection or responsiveness and availability was inconsistent. Anxious attachments can show up in people-pleasing behaviors, struggles in expressing personal needs or avoidance of confrontation and conflict, a focus on meeting the needs of the partner to the detriment of one's own personal needs. Yeah, when I learned about this, I was like, yo, guys, they are describing me. That is me. And then avoidant attachment. So this attachment style can appear almost opposite to an anxious attachment style. So closeness and intimacy can feel threatening and unsafe, despite still having that human need for connection. And I was actually telling the OT on that day that this was my ex's attachment style. So our attachment styles opposite.
Yeah.
Self-reliance feels safe, giving just enough of oneself to keep a relationship, but experiencing discomfort. Vulnerability and fear in those connections and struggling with urges to shut down emotionally and avoid intimacy or confrontation. And then secure attachment, which honestly is something that I feel Kopano experienced as a child. I mean, Stella's YouTube, but I know why I'm saying this. When parents are able to reliably respond to their child's emotional and physical needs, that child is able to learn over time that what she feels can be communicated and responded to. They keep referring to she. I don't know what happened to the he, but oh well.
Well, I mean, it is women building women, after all.
She feels safe to express needs and learns that she's able to go into the world to get those needs met. This does not mean parenting was perfect, but it was reliable enough to generate that secure base and was repaired when mistakes were made so that trust continued. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I want that for every child. And then lastly, disorganized attachment. So if parents are unable to provide care and emotional support that is reliable and consistent, or if that relationship is abusive, then these kinds of interactions may create a disorganized attachment. As a child, that might be seen as avoidant or resistant responses to caregivers because the mix of experiences is confusing and disorienting. The person they need for safety can also be frightening and dangerous. Ooh, I think I can also relate to this one. Later on in adulthood, this attachment style might show up as difficulties in dealing with emotion and a vulnerability towards dissociation in response to stress, intense fear of abandonment, and difficulties in relationships.
Hectic.
Ooh, who wants to go first? Which one?
I love how y'all set the tone. That was so nice.
I think personally, I would fall under the secure attachment style, but I do pick up a few traits here and there in my own personality that are coming out in the other attachment styles. But I think mostly the secure attachment style. I think my mom really did a great job with us, and she's really like one of the most perfect people I've ever met in the world. Like, she really was like an incredible mom, and she still is an incredible mom. And I do pray and hope that I can become that for my son. I see it happening. And yeah, I really pray that it continues that way, that he can have the same experiences that I did. I'm not going to talk about my dad.
Okay, awesome. So for me, funny enough, Sam, you mentioned secure, ne? So growing up, my mom raised us so well. Going back to what you're saying, I love my mom so much. Yes, we might have our differences because we are the same. So sometimes we are on each other's necks. But for the most part, my mom was incredible. She raised us so well, and she gave us so much love that sometimes that absence of the father, even when he was in the marriage and when we were a family, but he was a father but not a dad. I hope that makes sense. So he was there but not emotionally, etc. So my mom really gave us so much love that sometimes we even forgot there was another parent. But unfortunately, bless her heart, to her detriment as well, because you can't necessarily raise a child or children by yourself. It's so much to give emotionally, physically, mentally. There's so many things, financially, etc. But growing up, she really did sort of raise us to be secure. She really did like fundamentally put that in me, and I think even my siblings. But in relationships, I would say that only now I'm secure. Before, I was anxious, for sure. And that's because the lack of my father being there for me in that way. Do you understand? Okay. So this thing with attachment styles, it's a journey.
Very tricky.
It's a journey. So going back to what you were saying, that majority of your attachment style is secure, but you can also see yourself in all these other things, right? Because you also find that some people have a great childhood, but their adult experiences really traumatize them, whether that's romantic relationships, etc. Then because of that, it then changes their attachment style throughout, and then they're just like, okay, because this happened, I'm gonna now recluse, I'm gonna etc. etc. But for me, majority, I'd say yes, secure. But in relationships, I was anxious for a long time. And only probably the last 3 years, I've been secure now in relationships, showing up in that way. And how I'd like to raise my daughter is definitely, through the secure attachment style, because I think it's the most healthiest. And I really like the fact that you mentioned insecure, that it's not going to be perfect, guys. There's no perfection. There's no perfection.
True.
People are people.
Yeah.
And I think once I also started to understand my parents as children, everything changed for me, even for my own healing journey, and even how I raise my child. It really made me realize that, okay, I'm also just merely a little girl raising another little girl. How can I reaffirm myself through her? That's how I've experienced, raising my daughter. And the only thing that, of course, sort of hurts me is we're in a situation where she's not with her father in that way, where she's experiencing a home where both parents are in the house, etc. But I always make sure to reaffirm her, and I also allow her to talk about it. You know, growing up in, especially in a black household, the uncomfortabilities, the taboos. Hey, what is I think? What are you saying? No, we're not going to talk about that.
Yes.
So for me, I genuinely try to take it out of her. But naturally, my daughter is, I wouldn't say she's an avoidant, but she's very private. That's what I've experienced with Imani. So Imani is loud, bold, talkative, but the innermost feelings, she needs to trust you first. That's what I've seen about her, right? And naturally, when I see these things, I want to nurture it in such a way that it is okay to be private, but I don't want it to like break your relationships around you. So I try my best to like create that narrative in her. So when she feels like she can't share stuff with me, I'm like, Mimi, you must learn to share stuff with me, even if it's uncomfortable. I'm not saying it's not going to be uncomfortable. It is, but please share with me so that she doesn't become an adult that doesn't know how to speak up or is uncomfortable to say things, etc. So yeah, it's a it's a bit of a unique situation because because it's not just your intent as the parent, but also the environment and the circumstance.
True.
Incredible.
I think I led with this question because the way we raise our children is the way they show up in the world.
Yes.
And I spoke about the fact that with attachment styles, it's how your caregiver raised you, and then you ultimately respond or relate to others in different types of relationships. And again, just tying it back to what I spoke about, adult hearts. I think that right now what I'm trying to do with this, yes, I'm trying to transform hearts, but the people that I'm trying to bring that change to highly likely won't even watch my podcast because of who does she think she is? I'm not about to watch this. You know, that kind of thing. And I think with children, it's so much easier, like I say, to instill this because you're starting from a very early age. And imagine if everyone was raising their children like that, where this world is headed with a whole bunch of human beings who are just carrying love and kindness towards one another. So how do you teach your children to lead with kindness?
I think for me, the most important thing I always say to Imani is, if you want people to treat you a certain way, you need to lead with that. That is very important. So for us, kindness is definitely in the home. Respect is in the home, but respect with a boundary as well. Whereas even though I'm saying you must respect me because I'm an adult or I'm your mother, you must respect me in such a way that even if you feel uncomfortable, you can still respectfully tell me, Mommy, I'm feeling uncomfortable. Right? So that respect with boundaries, I think, is so key. But the leading with kindness and being a person that, you want to build children that are going to build other kids outside or reaffirm other kids as well. And something so special that I've seen so far with my daughter is she is definitely learning so much from me. It's such a humbling and beautiful experience seeing her grow up, and now that she's getting older, she's getting like her own personality, etc. But the way that she carries herself when she's around her friends, how affirming she is to her friends, how kind she is, she always wants to share. But don't mess with me though. It's there. She definitely has it, but I think it just goes back to what I was saying, the respect with boundary, because once you're too respectful, too kind, people want to take advantage. And I always also try to keep that as an open conversation, because and I see this through like different interactions that she'll have with her friends, and she'll maybe one day she'll come crying, Mommy, something happened, this happened, etc. And I'll ask what happened, and then in that instance I can tell that she was being way too kind to her own detriment. Then I say to her, Mimi, this is what essentially happened, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong being a kind person, but don't allow people to walk over you. Don't. If you feel uncomfortable, speak up about it. So it's about having that open communication as well. That's going to help you reinforce those things in your kids.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I will 100% echo your words. I always say that monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, absolutely.
They literally copy everything you do.
Everything.
You know? My son is so small.
Yes.
The other day, he did something that really touched my heart. I did the laundry, and the laundry was in the hanging line.
Yeah.
And I find the laundry is in the basket, guys. He went and took out the laundry, and I'm like, what happened, Mika? And it was not dry, guys.
Oh, baby.
It was not dry.
He was
but
just saying, I want to help mommy. I want to help
yes.
mommy.
When I carry my bag, he wants to help me carry, you know. So he sees
You're raising
those.
a gentleman.
Oh, yes. I want him to be able to open
gentleman.
doors, you know.
I love that.
He must be sweet and kind. And I see that coming out in his little personality. And I think it's so beautiful because he sees us in the house being really, really kind. And he copies that. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect because we fought our way to get a thank you. Oh, really? No, you must say thank you. And you will not get a sweetie. You will not get a treat. You will not get anything that you want if you don't say thank you. So we withheld certain things from him so that he can know that. And my son is very stubborn. Like
my daughter as well.
Yeah, very headstrong. Very like, I want what I want. And so we had to really like set those boundaries to say, no, if you don't say thank you, then mommy's not going to give you a sweetie. But you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And you'll come, and then he'll come back like, oh, mommy's sweetie, please. Yes. Exactly. I'll say, what is the magic word, please? You know? So definitely when you say, we must lead with kindness. That literally is what I was about to say. That you know, they copy every little thing that you do. They are watching you. So they don't do what you say. They do what you do.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what's challenging about parenthood, right? Is that, you know, when you think about your parents, and let's say, for instance, you have this conversation with your parents about how they hurt you or how they disappointed you, etc., and you find that it was not their intention, but because, guys, I'm watching you. I don't see intention. I don't see what you're trying to do. So I receive what I'm seeing, you know? So that's the tough part about parenting, because it's really a mirror. It is truly a mirror. But so far, I won't lie, I am so grateful for how my mom raised me. You know, and once you become a parent, you start to realize that, thank you for certain aspects, like with how you raised us. Thank you so much, because there's a lot that I'm going to take. There's only a few things I won't take.
A little bit there, a little bit there.
Because I grew up in a very strict home. My mom was very strict. And sometimes it still comes out in me where I'm like, because some people don't believe that I'm actually a strict person, because, you know, it's me, you know, it's cops, and I'm the funny clown, etc. But with my daughter, it's different. Mama, like, hey, you better not, you know. But I think, the most important thing is just reaffirming your child, and also creating that space that it's not going to always, you're not going to always be perfect. You know this thing where you want to build a perfect child, like, if you don't do this, you won't get that. If you don't, yes, it is a good base of parenting and teaching them right from wrong, but then don't make it a thing where they feel like, okay, so I need to do everything right in order for everyone to like me, in order to get any form of love, any form of... So the biggest thing for me in my journey that I'm trying to sort of, it's like I'm parenting myself all over again through Imani, is reaffirming her that it is okay to sometimes make a mistake, and don't penalize yourself. Don't like, say for instance, if she did something that I'm not happy with, and then she'll come, she's like, Mommy, I'm sorry, please take my sorry, please. I was like, yay, please stop. But I said, yes, I accept it, but I didn't like how she did it, and I'll tell you why. I said, Mimi, when you apologize to someone, you say it once and you mean it, but you don't have to say, please accept, because you're going to end up really becoming a people pleaser. I don't want that for you. So so I said to her, I'm like, yes, you can apologize once and say, Mommy, I'm really sorry. And because you mean it the first time, that's enough. But Mom, please accept my sorry. I was like, hey, you irritated me when you said she said all the time, Mommy, please accept my sorry. I'm like, Jonga, I accepted it the first time. Please don't annoy me. But these little things, you know. So it's a push and pull, but it's such a mirror. Parenthood is a mirror. Yeah, Sam, it's a mirror.
Oh, guys. Kopano, I think you touched on this when you spoke about Imani's kindness being to her detriment.
Yes.
Like, unfortunately, we live in a very cruel world.
Yeah.
So when your child witnesses unkindness or unfairness in the world, how do you guide them to respond to that?
I think it's always important to teach them that there is going to be horrible people, you know, that there is going to be people that will not be kind. There's always going to be people that are not like mommy and daddy, you know, but you always lead with kindness. Always lead with kindness. You teach them that this is not how you do it. You know, you don't follow this uncle's example and then you take it from there. You don't just let it slide. It's always important to just put it out there to say, look, there's always going to be people, uncles and aunties that are not doing things the right way. You must know, but when you know, this is how we do it, Montlu.
Exactly. I just want to piggyback off of what she said. It's so true. Also, one thing that my mother taught me, love you, girl. Mama tell me. You know, she really taught me something so profound. Now that I'm older, it just smacks even harder. She always used to say, my child, if you know yourself, all the other stuff, yeah, it will affect you, but in the long run, because you go back to who you are, then it doesn't matter. You discard it almost immediately. So I think for me, the most important thing is letting them know that, yes, there's going to be people that are unfortunately not good people inherently, and they're going to try and take out what's in them in you when it's not even you. So knowing who you are, you will get to understand that, okay, this person is different from me, but it doesn't take away from me, 100%. The way I am, and it's okay, you know? 100%. But also, with going back to the kindness thing, I always say to Imani that, yes, there'll be different people that are mean, that are rude, etc., but also extend with that kindness because you don't know what's happening and in their homes. You know, we lead, we lead, yes, with our own principles in the Montlung, Mara. We don't know about anyone else. So as much as, yes, I tell her, no, she mustn't do this to you, but I always say to her, Mimi, but you must extend that kindness. If she comes back to you tomorrow and she says, Imani, I'm sorry, I was wrong, allow her back. Give her that chance. Because most of the time, there's, you see, going back to attachment styles, every home is different and it's going to come out differently in different kids and people and interactions. So I just feel like it's important that you do tell them about the challenges, because when you don't, that's where they'll also be taken advantage of, unfortunately. But still reinforcing that you can still lead with the kindness despite all of that happening.
Yeah. You know, it also ties into differences. So obviously people are different. Yeah. And sometimes kids are mean.
Yes, kids are so mean. Kids are mean.
You have people of different shades, people who fall under different cultures, people who are taught, or children rather, who are taught things in a different manner in their homes, you know. So how do you teach your children to respect those differences?
That's a good one. Yeah. That's a good one. So I always say, and I think our parents, some of the things that they say to us, I'd laugh because I find myself saying it to my daughter as well. Where it's like, yeah, go there. Where they from? They do that marafa. Is crying my shoe in this house. But it's such a tricky one, Sam. I think that's such a good question, and it's so tricky because you're trying to find a fine line of, it's not something that I stand for in our house, but they are still human beings. It's a very tricky one. But I always say to her that just respect other people's cultures, respect how they are, but you don't have to conform. But you can respect.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
You just don't have to conform.
Yes.
No, it's 100% true. And I think for me, because my son is a little bit smaller, we try to teach him that, okay, like in this house, they eat this food, it's different. In our house, we eat this one. When you get to auntie's house, don't say yaki.
Yo, and these kids will be saying yaki. Yo, guys. Ooh, is that a hedgehog? Remember that TikTok video?
I'm trying not to laugh.
Kids are so mean.
They are so
like,
mean.
Yucky, mommy, no. No,
And
you know, you have to be
yours.
kind and understand that at auntie's house, they eat
It's
like
different,
that. And
yeah.
at uncle's house, they wear this kind of clothing. You know, even now for Heritage Day, at school, they're going to wear the traditional. So we had to explain and tell him, for like, okay, so you're going to wear this one because you're Swati. And, you know, the other friends are going to wear this one and this one. You know, you try to teach him to understand that there's different cultures. Because I saw that even as he was growing up, he started saying, oh, there's white people. These people are different from me. This one has different hair. This one, you know, so you start to teach him and help them understand that, there's different people with different personalities and different situations in their families. Even with our neighbors, you'll see my son will just look at, they're like, okay, what's happening here? And I'll try to explain to him like, no, Nana, this is how, this is what's happening. And this auntie has this and then you know, and he won't always understand.
Of course,
But it's fine. I tell him anyway. I teach him anyway.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, the way I was trying not to laugh, because I knew the cough was gonna come through. So, lastly, if your child could take one life lesson from you into adulthood about how to treat other people, what would it be?
I think don't be judgmental. Give people the space, guys. And I think growing up, when you grow up, rather, and I'm speaking for myself, because you're young, you don't understand the world and all of these things, you're very judgmental. How come she, you know, there's a lot to say. But when you get older, you become less judgmental because everyone has a story. So I'd say the biggest lesson that she would probably go forward with is don't judge. Be less, or rather be slow to judge, because you don't know the next person's story. And help, be a servant. Yo, guys, me, I don't know. I really, I'm a servant leader.
I love
When I lead, like, I want to help people. And I enjoy it. It's not a thing of PR. As a PR. Like, genuinely servant leadership. And funny enough, when I was at school, sorry, I'm diverting here for a second. I was at a school meeting, and the teachers were like, oh, Imani is, she really is the example of servant leadership. I wanted to cry. I'm like, are you guys for real? She's like, yeah, if the one child is like alone and no one wants to play with her, she's like, guys, let's play with her. Let's see. Oh, guys, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it right. Like, this is exactly how it's supposed to be. And like, yo, guys, that meeting was great. But yes, that's what I would give her.
Oh, wow, that is beautiful. Because you know what, guys, parenting is
Hard.
Jesus.
It's hard.
It's very
and when
hard.
you're overstimulated ngapha as well, because adulting,
it is a lot,
you know.
You know, so for me personally, I would say that he should pursue a relationship with God.
Oh, absolutely.
And read your Bible, Papa. Because everything that you need to become the person that is a great businessman, a great lover, a kind man, a happy child is in that book. So if he can just have that relationship with Christ and delve deeper into that book, if I can just give him that principle, I know that he will be able to get everything else that he needs out of that book. You know,
Oh, beautiful.
That's it. That's it.
Absolutely.
For me. Yeah.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to lead with God as well.
Amen.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
amen.
Yes.
Ooh. Thank you, mommy. Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you, Auntie
joining.
Sammy.
Thank you for raising kind, respectful humans.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, guys. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And until next time, let's keep raising humans who make humanity proud.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.